what more we need to import? Previously the logo was also imported, but I do not need that logo to be imported because I'm not going to use that logo anymore. This SVG, I'm closing that. Okay, the third thing which was imported previously was the app.css file, this one. But are we gonna use that by now, or by adding some new things or anything? I'm not gonna use that by now, but if I would, I will absolutely tell you. So we ultimately even do not need to write the second import, the app.css. I'm going to make the function, and then here the function name can be anything. I'm writing by now the app and the parentheses and the curly braces, and I'm going inside this function and I'm writing something like, first of all, I'm writing what I want to return. I want to return. I'm going inside the return by now, and here I'm writing the JSX. JSX is much similar to the HTML, but it is not, because HTML requires the features, and those features are something like using the HTML in the double quotes or the single quotes and make it as a string, but the JSX is not a string. I'm writing here, this is JSX. We're going to talk about the JSX later, but by now I'm just placing it like that. And the next important thing I need to do is to go bottom. After this function, I'm going to export the function. This is very important. I'm going to export default app. Saving it. Now I'm going to export that function, and also I'm declaring it as default function. Okay, now I do not need the app.css by now. Okay, now I'm going to the index.js. Now here in the index.js there are a few things which are already imported. For example, the React, we absolutely here we need to add the React to, we need to import that, because of this many things like the React DOM and things would be able to survive. Anyway, here for the React DOM we also have the React DOM itself, React DOM from React-DOM, and here we're using the React DOM.render. Anyway, we are also, one more thing, we are also importing this thing, the app. Okay, so if you want to connect this app.js with the index.js, you first need to export it from here as we did, and then we need to import it in the index.js as it happens in line number 4. Import app from ./app. This is the app, and here when we're calling some JS stuff, we do not need to mention the .js because it's ultimately based on .js. So if you do not mention the .js, that means you're calling some JS application or the JS script. But if you're calling some other things like the index or anything, so you need to call the .css or etc, like logo.svg as example. Anyway, here we're importing, what is the meaning of that? Service worker. Service worker is something we didn't talk about yet. We will talk about the services later, but import all. We are importing everything here. We are not only importing the app or the React, I mean these variables. We are not importing only the variables, we are importing everything from the service worker. The service is something like we are adding some external features like database connectivity, something like that. So for those purposes we use the services. We will talk about that later anyway. Okay, here we are telling that render the app in the document.getElement.byId root. So here in index.html there is a root, so ultimately whatever we've added in the app.js would be here to the index.html through the index.js. So now this is the time to run the file. I'm going here, I'm going to the terminal, and here I'm going to process that, npm start. Okay, now I need to wait a few seconds. Oh, there is something like official. Oh, okay, I got it. Actually, we're trying it to go official/react. We need to go, first of all, cd master react, because this one is where we have the project. If you notice one thing here, what it is doing, it is first of all checking in the React folder the package.json. However, the package.json file is not in the React, but inside the React folder there is a master React, and inside the master React there is a package.json. So this file was checked firstly, then this file needs to be open, and you can see that no such file or directory. But if there is a file, it would be checking for everything like name, the version, and dependencies, and then scripts that how we want it to be started. So when we write npm start, that means we are running this command, and this command would run the React scripts start. So ultimately it's gonna start. So go back here, and I'm writing here npm start again in the master React folder. Now all I need to wait a few seconds, so it would run the server, so we would be able to access the application to the browser. So just wait a few seconds. Now compiled successfully. If I look for the previous codes, this is what I written, the React scripts start, and absolutely this is what I written actually, and then I got it and starting the development server, and then compiled successfully, and then you can now view the master React in a browser. So there is a browser link. I need to go to the browser. It is automatically opened in my browser right now, so I'm gonna go check there. Here in a browser you can see that this is a JSX. Okay, so this is not HTML ultimately, but it is similar to HTML. We're gonna talk about the JSX too, so just look. This is how a simple React application works. So in the next lecture we're going to talk about the JSX and other things. Till then, stay tuned.